Hi, Pastor Nathan Deck with your hashtag Better Together devotion for today. One of the most important aspects of the early Methodist revival, and it's the reason I've saved it for last, is because it's probably the most uber important one, was the emphasis that the Methodist revival placed on grace and transformation. Grace and transformation. So we tend to like that idea of grace. For some odd reason in our society, we want to sing about grace and feel grace, and that's grace. An aspect of grace is that warm welcome, hospitality, and inclusiveness. But another aspect of grace is this loving accountability and compassionate care that says you can't remain the same. So we sing just as I am, but we leave the altar saying, I surrender all. It's this idea that we come to God because God has welcomed us and loved us with this gift that is free, offered freely to us. But it is also a costly gift, a gift that cost Christ his life, a gift that cost us our lives as we take up our cross and follow Christ in this faith, taking on spiritual disciplines, taking on spiritual ways of being, intentionally looking and listening for where God is guiding us. These two combined aspects of the early Methodist theology was a huge part of what made it swept like wildfire across the United States and England and all other parts. We emphasized grace. In fact, if you came to a Methodist church, even today, if the answer is not Jesus, the answer probably is grace. Between those two, you're going to get the answer right, because those are the most important aspects of what we are as a church. We are a people of grace. We are a church that looks out for transformation to happen in our lives, in a continual transformation. Where some churches are of the opinion that once you make the walk down the sawdust trail, that you punched your ticket, you're good to go, you're going to get to heaven, it's okay, you are solidly saved, once and done. We have an understanding of a journey. That salvation is not a one-time moment, but salvation is meant to be something that intentionally began before you even thought about it, because God loved you before you knew you were loved, and that salvation is continual once you realize it, once you turn to God, once you have that repentant moment of saying, I get it, you love me, and I want to be different, I want to love you back, I want to do something different because of who you are, God, I want to be more like who you see me to be. God, help me see me as the way you see me, and then help me live out life in the way that you would live out life in me. That's transformation, and it's a continual, lifelong process in which we are continually sanctified or getting more and more like Jesus, and we are continually striving to be completely in love with who God is and follow Christ's teachings. Our faith is a faith of grace and transformation. If you haven't experienced that, feel free to message me and let me know, and we can have a conversation about what that means, about intentionally turning to God, intentionally understanding that, and intentionally striving to be open to the changes that God will make in your life. They can be powerful, overwhelming, and they will always be making us better together. Amen.